I'd like everybody to think of a statement by Terence. The statement is, I am a human being. Nothing human can be alien to me. If you can internalize the least portion of that, you will never be able to say of an act, a criminal act, oh, I couldn't do that. No matter how heinous the crime, if a human being did it, you have to say, I have in me all the components that are in her or in him. I intend to use my energies constructively as opposed to destructively. If you can do that about the negative, just think what you can do about the positive.
Hi, it's Jo Jean Hardrick, creator of Justice and Liberty the Musical. I just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview of the criminal procedure cases covered in the musical. And these are the key criminal procedure cases, along with some key talking points to help you understand the impact of these cases. So the first case in the musical is Yick Wo versus Hopkins. It's from 1886. I go all the way back to the beginning because this case established that laws applied unequally violate the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, even if they seem neutral.
The city of San Francisco passed an ordinance for fire and safety, and the statute was used to shut down hundreds of laundry businesses.
I came to the shore, seeking a life, working hard every day, avoiding the strife. I built a business with my own hands, but they say I don't belong in this land. Justice is blind, but not to me. They see my face and that's all they need.
The majority of the businesses that were closed were owned by Chinese business owners. The Supreme Court noted that only one white-owned business was closed under the same statute. And so it created the concept of, if a law that is racially neutral can still be discriminatory based off application and impact.
I followed the rules, I did what was right, but still they push me out of sight. They say it's the law, they say it's fair, but I see the truth hiding in their stare. Justice is blind, but not to me. They see my face and that's all they need.
Growing up, my mom owned a laundromat as well, and she is an immigrant from Taiwan. Coincidentally, she was born on the centennial anniversary of the 14th Amendment being founded.
Oh, justice is blind, but not to me. They see my face, but now we're free. Justice is blind, but now it's clear. We fought, we stood, we have no fear.
Etc. Appellant versus Ohio.
Knock, knock, no warrant, but we're coming in. What's behind your door is where our search begins. You got no paper, you got no right, but you think you can break in here tonight. Knock, knock, no warrant, the law's in our hands. Justice moves fast and it makes its own demands. The police burst in and chaos erupts as they search her.
African-American woman like myself, she is very strong, very opinionated, and she knew her rights. She snatched that warrant and put it down her shirt.
Oh, this is my home where my children lay their heads. But to you, I'm guilty, cause my skin is painted red. No warrant, no warning, no justice for me. What happened to liberty?
The warrant requirement is mandatory for someone to enter into your home, the most safest abode that you will ever have, dwelling place, the place you go to escape the world's adversities. There were a lot of adversities.
Oh, this is my home where my children lay their heads. But to you, I'm guilty, cause my skin is painted red. No warrant, no warning, no justice for me. What
last thing you need is infringement. The last thing you need is to be pressed and pushed by a government official with a badge that says, let me in. We're not letting them in without a warrant.
It's justice we protect. Knock, knock, no more. The law's set clear. You can't just barge in, we hold our rights dear.
Clarence Earl Gideon, petitioner, versus H.G. Cochran, Director, Division of Corrections.
This case was about a man who already had some charges and prior criminal history and is dealing with a new charge for burglary, and he cannot afford an attorney.
I'm just a man with a broken past, but don't I deserve a fair shot at last? The law's too big, it's too much to see. I need someone to fight for me, a right to defend, a voice by my side. Without it, justice is denied. A right to defend, a voice by your side. Without it, justice is denied. We fight, we stand, we won't be denied.
He had to write his own appeal, handwrite an appeal to the Florida courts, and ultimately it was accepted by the court, and they reviewed his case, which was a great matter of public concern in determining whether a person should have a court-appointed attorney.
Counsel for all matter the side. I'm just a man with a broken past, but don't I deserve a fair shot at last? The law's too big, it's too much to see. I need some friend, a voice by my side. Without it, justice is denied. A right to defend, a voice by your side. Without it, justice is denied. We fight, we stand, we won't be denied. Counsel for all matter the side.
And the reason this one is so important is because it guarantees that everybody has the right to assistance for themselves and gives them the access to somebody who is able to help them in their time of need, essentially.
Counsel for all matter the side. I'm just a man with a broken past, but don't I deserve a fair shot at last? The law's too big, it's too much to see. I need some friend, a voice by my side. Without it, justice is denied.
Number 67, John W. Terry et al., petitioners versus Ohio.
Walking these streets, minding my own, but your eyes on me like I'm carrying a stone. What's your reason? What's your cause? Can't you see your laws got flaws?
A black male who was just walking was stopped by the police.
Your Honor, is it justice? When suspicion is based on nothing more than skin. They had no cause, just a feeling, a guess. This can't be the law, we must make progress. A limited intrusion, yes, but for safety we must err. Reasonable suspicion, the standard will bear.
The court ruled that police can stop and frisk individuals if they have something called reasonable suspicion of criminal activity.
Your Honor, is it justice when suspicion is based on nothing more than skin? They had no cause, just a feeling, a guess. This can't be the law, we must make progress. A limited intrusion, yes, but for safety we must err. Reasonable suspicion, the standard will bear.
This case established stop and frisk, which is a rule under the Fourth Amendment, less than a search, but more than a hunch in order to do that. And it's a key case when we're talking about police reform discussions, even to this day.
Your Honor, is it justice when suspicion is based on nothing more than skin? They had no cause, just a feeling, a guess. This can't be the law, we must make progress. A limited intrusion, yes, but for safety we must err. Reasonable suspicion, the standard will bear.
Number 759, Ernest Miranda, petitioner versus Arizona.
The court ruled that police must inform suspects of their rights before they interrogate them. Ernesto Miranda confessed to a crime without knowing that he had the right to remain silent and a lawyer.
But what do I say? How should I know? They're talking so fast, but I'm thinking so slow. They press and they push, 2 hours go by. I'm lost in confusion, unsure of why. Just tell us the truth, make it easy tonight. Admit what you've done, it's only right. 2 hours we've waited, now don't you lie. For someone like you, there's nowhere to hide.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do will be used against you. You have the right to retain an attorney. If you can't afford one, you will be provided with one.
And so this is the case that established you have to have the warning under the Fifth and Sixth Amendments. And if not, then your statements and the evidence can be thrown out. This case introduced those Miranda rights just recited. It's read to all arrested individuals. You have to be in custody and facing interrogation.
A man must know his rights before he speaks. The Fifth and Sixth protect those who are meek. In this great land where freedom should reign, justice and truth are what we say. Remain silent. They ask, where were you? Remain silent. Bring in your friend. Remain silent. They say, we've got proof. Remain silent. Hold to your right. Remain silent. They say, just confess. Remain silent. They shout and they press. Remain silent. Hold you through the night. Remain silent. Remember you got rights. Remain silent. They promise leniency. Remain silent. They promise clemency. Remain silent. No matter what they say. Remain silent. No matter what they claim. Remain silent. Silence is power. Silence is might. When you don't speak, you're holding tight. In the land of the free, justice is wise. Your rights are your own. Protect and rise.
It prevents forced confessions and coerced interrogations, which is really important under the Fifth Amendment, and it protects the due process for all accused persons.
Silence is power, silence is might. When you don't speak, you're holding tight. In the land of the free, justice is wise. Your rights are your own. Protect and rise.
Thank you, gentlemen. The case is submitted. We'll hear arguments next in Strickland against Washington.
This is my life hanging in the air. But my lawyer lost. He doesn't care. Is this what the Sixth Amendment means? When justice falls apart at the seams. Effective counsel is a right. Without it, justice falls. A fair defense must be ensured for all.
The attorney of the defendant did not give key evidence that led to his conviction. The court determined that every defendant has to be given effective representation. That means that they need to have the knowledge and do the work and bring any evidence that is brought up to them. They have to review everything and bring it up to the court.
Effective counsel is a right. Without it, justice falls. A fair defense must be ensured for all.
It set the standard for ineffective assistance of counsel claims, which are very popular now amongst defendants who've been convicted. It ensures defendants receive competent legal defense, and it's a key case that's raised in death penalty appeals.
This is my life hanging in the air. But my lawyer lost. He doesn't care. Is this what the Sixth Amendment means? When justice falls apart at the seams.
We'll hear argument next in number 008452, Daryl Renard Atkins versus Spectators are admonished, do not talk until you get out of the courtroom. The court is still in session.
I don't understand this place, this fate. They say I'm guilty, but I hesitate. What did I do? What did I say? Why does justice take my breath away? Mercy for the vulnerable, mercy for the weak, justice
idea that we would execute a mentally disabled individual just seems abhorrent. And I realized that there may have been a long tradition, not only in the United States, but in the common law countries and across the world, to do that sort of thing. But that doesn't make any less heinous. We've had in the law the concept of capacity and the idea that diminished capacity can be a mitigator or perhaps even an exculpator that gets you not incarcerated but held in a hospital securely.
Your honor, should a man who cannot comprehend his fate be sentenced to death? Is this justice? To execute the vulnerable violates our core. The Constitution forbids such punishment no more. Mercy for the vulnerable, mercy for the weak. Justice isn't cruelty, it's for the least to speak. Mercy for the broken, mercy for the poor. In this land of liberty, we must open up the door.
We'll hear argument first this morning, number 036696, Yasser Issam Hamdi versus Donald Rumsfeld.
So in this particular instance, Mr. Hamdi is a U.S.-born citizen that after 9/11 had traveled to Afghanistan and were captured by the Northern Alliance.
In a cell with no key, no end in sight. No lawyer, no trial, just endless night. I call for justice. Does no one hear? Am I forgotten, erased by fear?
Thrown into Guantanamo, the United States thinking that he was a terrorist. And then afterwards, when he was found to be a citizen, he was brought back to Virginia where he filed a habeas petition in which Hamdi is saying, you imprisoned me unconstitutionally, like you didn't have any basis for this.
They call me an enemy, strip me of name, deny me a trial, rewrite the game. But even here where no voices rise, the truth will break these darkened skies. We wrote these rights in ink, not sand. Due process still must take its stand.
No time during those proceedings was Mr. Hamdi provided counsel, nor was he given any of the rights and you typically receive when you are charged for the crime. You're, as a U.S. citizen, where you're a non-citizen, you must allow such as being given an indictment or read your rights, allowed to see the evidence against you, or anything of the like.
Trial must be fair. The law must guide, even when fear sways the tide. Justice for the nameless, justice for the lost. The law must hold no matter the cost. Freedom's promise must never fade. Even in shadows, justice is made.
Because he was a citizen, and no matter what, a citizen would always get the protections of the Constitution.
We'll hear argument first this morning in case 087412, Graham versus Florida.
He was a teenager and he was convicted of armed robbery. He had a record of other crimes, and so he had reached the point where the court sentenced him to life in prison without parole.
They said my name like a sentence, not like a child with a name. They saw my mistakes, not my story, and judged me with permanent shame. I was 16 and broken, still learning wrong from right. But the gavel dropped like thunder, and they vanished all my light. But this ain't the end of me. No bars can hold who I might be. Mistakes are not identity. I need a chance to grow and see that justice can be more than pain, and mercy more than just a name. I am a voice you didn't hear, but I'm still standing, I'm still here.
Even though no one was killed, he argued that his punishment was too harsh for someone so young. And especially when we're talking about juveniles, one of the sentencing protocols is to look at rehabilitation.
The court said youth must matter, that change can still be real. You can't lock away a lifetime before the wounds can heal. I dreamed of mornings, not just time, morning light, not doing time. I dreamed of love and second tries, open doors, clear blue skies. This is not the end of me. There's more I'm still becoming, see. Justice must have eyes to see. That grace belongs to even me. And in this fight we find our flame, our dignity, our hope, our name, a promise we are meant to be. This is not the end of me. This is not the end of me. Oh.
The justices said that this punishment violated the Eighth Amendment, which protects against cruel and unusual punishment, and so it would be cruel and unusual to sentence a young person who's a juvenile to life in prison.
You said I was done, but I'm not through. Even kids deserve a future too.
This matters because it recognized that kids are still growing and can change. They've also looked at the mental abilities of children and how their brain functions, and it said that a young person should have a second chance to show that they can be better. It also helped set new rules for fair sentencing of young people and influence later cases on juvenile justice and brain development.
You said I was done, but I'm not through. Even kids deserve a future too.
So this collection of cases in the musical shows how criminal procedure has evolved to protect individual rights, limit government power, and ensure fairness in the justice system. Justice and Liberty the Musical highlights these stories to remind us why due process, equal protection, and fair trials matter then and now.
Justice ain't magic, it don't just appear. It comes from the voices who made it clear. They fought the system, they changed the game. We carry that torch and we say their names. Every offense without reason, that's not okay. A jury of peers should have a say. Strickland, a lawyer must care and actually try. Atkins, don't sentence the vulnerable to die. Citizens have rights, even in war. And detainees deserve much more. If a plea risks your life, they must say so. Lineups need counsel, that's how fair goes. These weren't just court cases, these were real people, real pain, real change. Justice for all means all of us. No matter your skin, your name, your past. This Constitution isn't just old.